In this session, let us understand three important boilers, that is Bunsen boiler, Velox boiler and Schmidt-Hartmann bulb. These are all high pressure boilers. Bunsen boiler, that is also called as a once through boiler. Once through boiler means we have seen in the TS diagram for the in the earlier lecture that at 221 bar, that is the critical pressure, if I am taking any water to saturated condition, it is in the 2 stage. But if it passes above the point, there will be no phase change, right? There will be sudden change to steam that takes place. That is what happens in this Bunsen boiler. That is called as a once through boiler, where I don't have any drum. So the Bunsen boiler is another innovative design that is eliminated the salt and the water bubble formation. The specialty of this boiler is, as I have told, there is no boiler drum. If there is no boiler drum, the cost of the boiler also reduces. Moreover, the erection, the drum is the most weight part of the boiler, and the weight also get reduces, and erection during the initial period, which is a very important job, so that I have to take the cranes to the side, that also be reduced. So totally, if the boiler drum is not there, this will be the advantage. This boiler is also known as once through boiler. Whenever I am having no drum, this type of called as a once through boiler. Since the feed water is converted directly to the superheated steam through the pipelines, evaporated without being stored in drums. So earlier boilers, whether it is a Lamont boiler, Loeffler boiler, we have seen that there are steam drums, but here the steam drum is not there. Let us see the sketch, right, for the Bunsen boiler. In the sketch you can see there is no drum at all, right? Here you can see the water coming from the feed pump, and it first enters to the economizer, right? Then economizer, it will come to this place where actually the firing takes place. Economizer may be outside the furnace or it may be inside the furnace, but the other convective evaporator will be within the furnace. So here the fuel firing has been done. So it passes to the radiant evaporator, then it moves to the convective evaporator, then after that it will come to the superheater, then the superheated steam will go to the turbine, to the prime mover. Moreover, the flue gas which is going out will have the heat content, this exhaust gas, to trap that heat. I will use the ambient air through the blower or a forced draft fan, and it will get heated, by which the efficiency of the entire system of this will increase. Let us see the working. This boiler has the capacity of 150 ton per hour, and it works at a pressure of 500 bar. So surely 221 bar is the critical pressure. This is much more than that, and at a 650 degree centigrade. As already discussed, it is a drumless boiler. The feed water is pumped to the economizer. Economizer is necessary, which is take the heat before or from the flue gas itself, right? It is a heat exchange. The wet steam generated then passes through the convective intermediate evaporator, where it is converted into the saturated high pressure steam, that is up to 225 bar. The steam finally passes to the superheater, because I want the drain extraction to be 1 before I want to pass into the prime. Let us see the merits of the Bunsen boiler. The total boiler cost, as I told, the drum itself is the costliest part, right? And taking to the height erection also requires more time, so that has been avoided. The Bunsen boiler occupies lesser space area. All the joints in the Bunsen boiler are welded, and because of the lesser space component, erection will be faster. So I have got flexibility for doing the welding job for the tubes. As this boiler works at high pressure at 250 bar, there is no danger of bubble formation even when sudden fall of demand occurs. Possibility of explosion does not arise as there is no boiler drum. The Bunsen boiler can be started very quickly from the cold. Let us see the demerits. Here it has a low steam capacity, hence not suitable for a high power output. So it is can be used for the conventional one, but for the if I want surely for high pressure, but it cannot be for the high discharge. These are possibility overheating of economizer and tubes. So since the drum is not there, risk also there. It is not, you cannot tell it is not having any risk. Risk involvement will be there for the explosion. In the drum, what happens? Generally, we maintain 40 to 50% of the water level, right? So suppose in the drum, if the pump trips, right? If the pump trips, I have got little more time to play safer before any explosion, or I can start a spare pump. I can I can think about alternative measure. But when it is in the Bunsen boiler, I cannot think about any alternative. Hence, the risk involved will be more. It cannot meet the sudden rise in demand. Let us go to the next one. That is a Velox boiler. In the Velox boiler, these boilers are designed to use the pressurized combustion to achieve high rate of heat transfer from the smaller surface area. The special feature is the flue gases are expanded in the gas turbine. Generally, we have seen the gas turbine or the Brayton cycle, right? When we are talking, because when I am having a gas turbine, the gas turbine and compressor are mounted on the same shaft. If you remember the basic things in the applied thermodynamics, we have studied, right? We have got a combustion chamber, and I have got a compressor and turbine. This is a compressor and this is turbine, which are mounted on the same shaft, right? And this is a combustor we call, or it is a furnace. So this system of Velox boiler uses the turbine. Let us see what are the plus point of using that one. The axial flow compressor is used to pressurize the atmospheric air to the operating furnace pressure to facilitate the pressurized combustion. So here you can see the gas turbine, right? Here you can see the pump coming, and the dotted line is the flue gas passage, right? This is a flue gas passage. The water and the flue gas. So, economizer is to exchange the heat with the water, right? The flue gas is exchanging the heat with the water, and aerator is there, that will right here the air is required to compressor, right? It will take the air will be compressed over here by the gas turbine. So this compressor and turbine are mounted on the same shaft, right? That is the extra feature that we can see. Rest of the things that the evaporating tubes are similar to that what we have discussed in the earlier one. Let us see the other feature. The compressor is driven by the gas that is by reduction theory. Why? Because here we are having, whenever I am having a turbocharger, its RPM is generally more than 1 lakh RPM. So with that speed, the compressor cannot be run. So I want reduction. Therefore, a gearbox is used over here. This system thus makes a efficient use of fuel in a smaller area for heat transfer. In the steam line, the feed water from the economizer. So, economizer is an heat exchanger which exchanges the incoming water with the outgoing flue gas, so that the incoming water get more temperature and dumping of the flue gas to atmosphere will be reduced. The temperature of the dumping flue gas to atmosphere will be reduced. Otherwise, it will surely affect the global warming. The steam is separated due to centrifugal effect of water entering through the spiral flow arrangement. Let us see the next one, that is a skimmed Hartmann boiler. What is skimmed Hartmann boiler? The specialty of the skimmed Hartmann boiler is we make use of two steam pressure circuit or two loops for the water steam. The closed primary steam circuit is used to evaporate the water in the secondary circuit, and steam produced in the secondary circuit used for running for the prime mover. The closed primary circuit used the distilled water and the steam raised to pressure of 100 bar. The steam is used to generate the steam in the secondary or main evaporator. This is achieved by submerging the heating coil in the evaporator of the primary circuit. Let us understand this concept by looking into the sketch. Let us understand from the sketch what are the different parts of the skimmed Hartmann boiler. As such, what we already studied, this is the air preheater. By using a fan or a blower, I can heat the incoming air. There is a circuit for the pump where I am taking the water. Here this is called as a primary circuit and this is called as a secondary circuit. This is not there in the earlier boiler what we have studied. So water will be pumped to the water drum, right, and it is a preheated by means of a preheater. Then it will go to the primary evaporator. Then first separation takes place, right, and it will enter to the steam drum. From the steam drum, it will go to the superheated steam, from where it moves to the turbine or primer. So this is the working principle of a skimmed Hartmann boiler. By this one, it will be more effectively utilized. Then the condensate of this circuit is used to preheat the feed water of the secondary circuit and finally flows back to the primary evaporator. The primary circuit also includes a steam separator and non-return valve, as we discussed in the figure. The preheated feed water in the secondary circuit then passes through the main evaporator at about 60 bar in the superator drum, then finally pass to the primary. Thank you.